Very good morning, students. Happy to meet you all in day 3 of the revision of the paper 4 Fundamentals of Business Economics and Management. And the day 3 coverage is very clearly given to you. It's going to be a really, jam-packed schedule for today because tomorrow and day after I'm reserving for a management segment. I think by God's grace, we are doing very good. Last 2 days, we had different types of exercise. I was indicating the important questions, repeated questions. We did a couple of exercises for every topic, numericals we did, graph-based questions we did. So it had been, at least some of you had a, very interactive, and you were also giving your answers. That's really good. I suppose today also would go on like that, right? Now, look at the day 3 coverage. That's why I sent the poster also yesterday itself. So I think in market structures, yesterday we had to do that graphical portion alone. Because I also told you how you are going to basically read market structures, and I told you that divide the market structures itself into 2 segments and prepare for the examination. That is when you do the revision. By now you would have studied the topic, I'm sure about it, and confident also. But here we have to think about how would I do my revision. I told you that you revise the features with examples across markets, and then go for equilibrium price output determination in various market forms, having in mind the graphical segment, right? So that is how you are also going to do. And the second part is what we are going to start today, and that is how I have given you the slide like this, right? So just remember that with the grace of Almighty and invoking His blessings, we commence today. So we have to finish our remaining part is graphical part. The slides are ready. You're going to answer that. Then we will do revised laws of production and selected portions from different topics. If you can remember, I was telling you that there are tidbits in various topics where students are ignoring. So I have made a topic itself out of it. So quickly I will show you, and you can jot down the running notes, right? So that's very important. And in macroeconomics, yes, you have central bank, commercial banks, money market. And there in money market, we also have to include there money and QTM. Okay, so what is that? Money and QTM is nothing but functions of money, and barter versus money, and QTM is your quantity theory of money. Okay, so that also we include there. And then financial institutions, you remember I marked it in class. I will tell you what is important there. A couple of questions are there. And for business environment, as a quiz sheet I have prepared, which is helpful for the examination. See, this is a quiz sheet I have prepared exclusively for business environment. This MCQs is for only for business environment I have prepared. So in the class itself, we will do the exercise. I will also give you the answer key, right? So it would be very useful for the examination. So today we have to finish this only and leave. Okay, then let's have that commitment, because tomorrow and day after definitely for management. Why a sizable time for economics? You know that macro, micro and business environment, 70% we saw. The day 1 itself I showed you the segmentation. But one thing I'll tell you, it was a segmentation given authentic only from the parent source, but don't take chances in management segment. Oh, it is 30% only. So even without that, I will clear in economics. So please don't do that. It is very important, because sometimes questions could be more also. That is why till the revision, we don't release that percentage. Are you clear? And business environment, this quiz, you in the class itself, you thorough yourself, so that you will know. Answer key is also released for you. Okay. And when all the revisions, when my full revisions get over, we will give it to the Google link, because the 3 parts, I think PPTs are useful for you. Number of examples we did. I think Karan, yesterday you can watch the video. We did numericals, elasticity of supply, cost, revenue. So you can watch the videos, and that is why I'm giving you the PPT also. Okay. Yes. Now today we are going to start our class. right away with a graphical segment. So I think you're all having your revision notebook ready. I told you have your revision notebook and pen or pencils ready. Yesterday we did this revision also. What is the second segment? It is completely a graphical segment. We have already seen this revision. Directly we have to go to the questions. Okay. And what are the two conditions for equilibrium? MC is equal to MR. MC curve should cut the MR curve from below. Okay. Now what are the three profit situations? It could be supernormal profit, it could be normal profit, it could be loss. And for that, what are the tools we are using? There we don't use MC and MR, we use AC and AR. Remember where we have to use MC and MR, where we have to use AC and AR. Okay. So when AR is equal to AC, normal profit means zero economic profit. That point also register well, because they can question what is a normal profit. Who will know? No. So your economic profit is zero. We have already done extensively yesterday on what is accounting profit, what is economic profit, what is accounting cost, what is economic cost in detailed way, right? Now AR is greater than AC is supernormal profit. And when AR is less than AC, it is loss. Okay. So that is what we are going to see today. Now let's start with the graph. Yes, I will make you identify the graph. See? Now please look at the graph and you have to answer. What are you going to answer? Two things. Identify the market. Identify whether it is supernormal profit, loss or normal profit. Two things you are going to identify. So what are we going to identify in the graphical segment? Look at the, so which means what is the point here? Graphs should be in your fingertips. In market structures, please study the graph very well. From the graph, two questions I'm asking you. Okay. Identify the market. Second is, and make this as very, very important, my dear students. That is why today's revision class begins exclusively with graphical segment. You remember yesterday I was telling you towards a fag and 11:30 or something, I said it is very difficult to continue for you. We will stop with the theoretical exercise and market structures, because toward close to 12 you can't even recollect it, because the question is like that, purely a graph based question. So you just look at the graph and so many graphs you would have studied, and there you have to identify what are the market forms. Perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, all have graphs, isn't it? So identify the market, identify whether it is supernormal profit, normal profit, loss. Now you please just think about your what we did in the class. As we did for short run, you will have separate sets of graph for each market form. Long run also you have. Now look at this graph. Any clue is there? Karan, you can see whether it is profit or loss or market. Any idea for you regarding this? Or anybody online students also, you can try. Anyway, I will release the answer key. That is very important, because you should know at the end of the revision session, you should be familiar with the answers. Now you see your MC and MR, it is meeting at the equilibrium point, isn't it? You extend it to give your equilibrium, you bring it down to give your equilibrium output, you take it to your AR curve to give your equilibrium price. So OPS is the equilibrium price, OQS is the equilibrium output. This point where MC is equal to MR is your E point. Now just look at, I give you a hint also. Look at where is AR and where is AC. Whether AR curve is above AC curve or AC curve is above AR curve. And do you remember yesterday we said there is a difference in the revenue curve when it comes to a particular market, it will be downward sloping. When it is in a particular market, it will be a horizontal line. Okay. And this is your second. So two important graphical structures are there. You can have a look at it, then we can complete it. So you find in the second graph also, you find your AR curve sloping downwards, MR curve is below it. That itself is a clue for the market form. In both the cases, your downward sloping AR and MR curve below it is a clue. And as usual, you find your MC and MR here also intersecting, isn't it? Look at this current MR, MC, equilibrium point. Bring it down, equilibrium output. Take it up to AR and link it price, equilibrium price. Now I release the answer key for you. Graph A is monopolistic competition, supernormal profit because your AR is greater than AC. This is the point of AR. This is AC. And what did we see in the previously we just saw? When AR is greater than AC, it is supernormal profit. AR is equal to AC, it is normal profit. AR is less than AC, loss. And it is why it is monopolistic competition. Do you understand that? Your downward sloping curve, a downward sloping curve, AR curve and MR curve, but this downward sloping, how it will be flatter. It will be flatter. If it is monopoly market, it will be steeper. It will be like this. So this will be flatter for monopolistic competition. Your AR will be flatter. For monopoly, it will be steeper. But in both the cases, your AR and MR will be downward sloping. Supposing it is perfect competition. What will be the nature of my AR and MR? So immediately the thought occurs. Because in oligopoly, you don't have this AR-MR confusion. You have only kinked demand curve. It's totally different. Okay, so now look at this perfect competition model. How is your AR and MR? AR is equal to MR. Okay, so here as usual you have your X, your Y, your origin, output is there, the quantity or output, and here you have revenue and cost. But now I'm showing only revenue, so I'm writing it as revenue. So when you see a horizontal line, immediately fix it, it is perfect competition. Okay, this is a clue I'm giving you. When it is a flatter kind of downward sloping AR, okay, followed by downward sloping MR, MR is also below AR. This is monopolistic competition. This is monopolistic competition. When your AR is steeper. They show you a curve. It is clear for you. It is steeper. See, this flatter and steeper are about elasticity. In a monopolistic competition, large number of sellers are there. If not one brand, consumer go for another brand. But not in monopoly. It's a one single seller market. You don't have that option. That's why it's steeper. So that is monopoly. Are you clear? And in oligopoly, if you can recollect how the structure would be in oligopoly, all these are revisions for you, how it will be. Anyway, I've shown you all the models. Your AR curve will be somewhat like this, broken. Okay. And your MR will be discontinuous. It will stop here. There will be a gap and again it will continue. This is MR. This is the gap. Okay. So discontinuous MR, this is the kink. See how AR is not continuously flowing down. There is a break. So this is AR and this is discontinuous MR. So kinked AR curve or demand curve and discontinuous MR curve. Discontinuous MR curve. Which market form? Oligopoly. For perfect competition, AR and MR is a straight line parallel to the x-axis. Remember all these tips for the examination. These are all tips for the examination. See, where is it? Yeah. Yeah. For monopolistic competition, downward sloping AR, downward sloping MR, but flatter. For monopoly, downward sloping AR, downward sloping MR, steeper than monopolistic competition. Got it now? See, so now just now we saw that. Now is it fulfilling? Flatter AR, downward sloping MR. So monopolistic competition. Okay. And what is the other one? AR is greater than MR. Sorry, AR is greater than AC. This is AC, this is AR. Supernormal profit. Go to the graph B. Flatter AR and downward sloping MR. And it is monopolistic competition. Why normal profit? Look at your AR and look at your AC, tangent to each other. Isn't it? Both of them are in the same point. There's no gap. Here there was a gap. AR is greater than AC. So it is profit, supernormal profit. Here it is normal profit. Are you clear? You got this, no? So now see whether you're able to see with the clues I gave you. See whether you can do the next exercise. Try, no? Fantastic. Good. Why you say perfect competition? Very good. That is the tip. Have you all understood, students? That is the tip. See that four clues for each market. Horizontal AR and MR is perfect competition. Steeper AR and MR downward sloping is monopoly. Flatter AR and MR downward sloping is monopolistic. Kinked demand and discontinuous MR is kinked AR and discontinuous MR is very good. Immediately you said the answer. Now you say whether it is supernormal profit, normal profit, or loss. That also you find. If this you study, no Karan, even if they ask market structures is sizable portion. Separately we saw, no, that day I have to remind you of the percentage that I will show you that. Anyways, it's very important. That's why we start a separate graphical segment. Okay, now you tell whether it is a supernormal profit or normal profit or loss. Looking at AR and AC.
Normal profit.
Why?
Because they are tangent equally.
Very good, yeah. AR is equal. That's it. So you have revised the segment. So for that, I have chosen this. No, they may give you loss, supernormal profit, whatever it is. Okay. Come to the next one. You take this as a steeper AR. Okay. Steeper AR and MR. I give you that hint. Two things you have to find out. Market and situation. I'm sure you can find out.
Monopoly.
Correct.
But both are going downwards.
And steeper. Flatter is monopolistic competition. Okay. Now you find out whether it is supernormal profit or normal profit or loss.
Supernormal profit.
How did you say that?
Because
Good.
AR is downwards and AC is upward.
AR is up. AC is down.
Downwards.
Look, this demand is also AR curve. Remember, AR curve is a demand curve. AR can also be price. So AR is at point R. AC curve is down below it. Okay. See? Perfect answers. Are you understanding now? This is identify the market. Steeper AR and MR. Remember that in mind. Steeper AR and MR. Losses we have already given. Why loss do you see? Your ATC curve is up. Whereas revenue is below. Okay, that I've given. Sometimes they'll give you one of the two and ask you to identify other. Now you have to identify. Let me give you the options. Perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, oligopoly. Oligopoly. Is it? Do you find a king to demand curve? Look at the oligopoly diagram which I just gave you. Is it looking like that? A kinked AR curve, and remember for oligopoly, this is the standard diagram they'll give. I'm giving, that's why in the revision class I'm saying you. Kinked demand curve means what? The demand curve, that is AR curve, will not be flowing like this. But in your diagram, it is flowing, no? How for oligopoly it will be is, it will stop here, break here, come down. That is only for oligopoly. And your MR curve will not be continuous. See, if you draw a line like this, your MR will stop here. There will be a big gap. Then it will continue. Okay, does it look like that? Okay, then what? So oligopoly is ruled out. In perfect competition, how will AR and MR be? Perfect competition. Have you jotted down the hints for each of the market? No, not done. Otherwise, you will remember. You can see that and also answer. Think how it will be for AR and MR. I mean perfect competition. How it will be for monopoly. I will write it here. See, in your revision class, what you are learning is hints, quick. What you studied in class is elaborate. Again, you will not be drawing the diagram what you did in the class. You remember you used to, I used to ask you to draw the diagram and no. Here, having learned in the class, you must be able to identify some little additional tips for you, which we would not give there because then you will not learn the graph fully for the graphical segment in market structures. See, this is basically to identify the market. Ma'am, what should I do, ma'am? Can you give us a shortcut? Yes, I'll give you that. The question is identify the market. First, AR equal to MR. And I find a horizontal line. There is a horizontal line. Okay. Immediately, I understand it is perfect competition. When I see that there is no horizontal line, I say, no, it is not perfect competition. I remove that. Okay. Second one. AR and MR both are downward sloping in nature. They are downward sloping. But what is the point? AR is steeper. It is not flatter, it is steeper. When I see it is steeper, I immediately know it is monopoly market. These are the exclusive hints for the graphical segment. It will be easy. You can easily identify the market if you know the 4 points. You don't have to struggle. And the third case is, again, ma'am, I find AR and MR are downward sloping. So what would I do? They will draw or they will give you a picture, the graph in such a way that, yes, AR and MR will be downward sloping. But what you will notice here is AR is flatter because in the monopoly market, because of the large number of brands or sellers, the customers or the consumers have a choice to go from one brand to another as it becomes expensive. And in case where your AR is kinked, kinked means what? Split. It is not smooth flowing, kinked. And MR is discontinuous. Immediately when you see a diagram like that, what are you going to say? It is my oligopoly market. That's all. There itself the question becomes very easily. You do this exercise, no, you revise this and go for the graphical segment, you are done with. That's all. I know one segment is over. Okay. And for AR, MR and MC, for supernormal profit, normal profit and loss, only two factors. Look at where is AR, where is AC. AR above AC, supernormal profit. AR below AC, loss. AR and AC are equal. Then it is normal profit. So now you say, using that hints you identify the market.
monopoly.
Very good. Do you understand that? So, as you do a revision of the graphical exercise, this is what I want you all to remember. Now have a look. Having done this exercise, please understand what type of question will be asked. For your recollection, any market form, monopoly. So we have seen monopolistic competition, we have seen a monopoly, we have seen perfect competition, supernormal profit, normal profit. Do you see that? So you must be able to see variety of examples we saw. And maximum is this only they can ask. Are you clear? Yes. Okay. Now you are going to answer the following.
Perfect competition.
Very good. Spontaneous answer. Which time period does this denote? See, you are having a graphical segment where short run, long run. We studied, no? Short run, long run.
Short run.
Already answer is there. LAC means long run average cost curve. LMC, long run marginal cost curve. Normal. And so now what you're supposed to do is that much you are clear, you have revised. Yeah, one thing which I wanted to tell you is another thing you have to prepare here is the time period. Yesterday I was telling you, no, time period, that is short run and long run. Yeah, LAC. Short run, what are the situations in perfect competition? Long run, what are the situations in the perfect competition? Say for example, see, I'll give you, if it is perfect competition, you will have supernormal profit, you can have normal profit, you can have loss. But in the long run, it will always be normal profit. That is the diagram you just saw. Okay. If it is monopoly, in the short run, profit, that is supernormal profit or loss. In the long run, it will always be supernormal profit because a monopolist will not sustain loss in the long run. Again, tips I am giving you. Shortcut methods they will say, no, that is it. If it is monopolistic competition, we can have supernormal profit or loss. But in the long run, you will have group equilibrium model. My dear students, please remember, in the long run, there is only normal profit. N stands for normal profit, and that is called as group equilibrium model in the monopolistic competition as given by Professor Chamberlain. As given by Professor Chamberlain. See, one of the exercises graphical you did, it was monopolistic competition, normal profit. That is what I showed you. See, I will show you that graph. This is no monopolistic competition, normal profit is otherwise known as group equilibrium model as given by Professor Chamberlain. Noted down, repeated question in the examination. So monopolistic competition, normal profit comes under group equilibrium model as given by Professor Chamberlain. And do you remember what Chamberlain said? See, you don't keep fighting amongst yourself. As sellers keep fighting amongst themselves, they are the losers. So he says you join as a group and do something. Heroic assumptions, Chamberlain's heroic assumptions. Try to have some uniformity. When you have uniformity, you will be successful in the market. That is the idea behind Professor Chamberlain's group equilibrium model. That is nothing but normal profit in monopolistic competition. Are you clear? Yes. See again how many tips you are learning to short run. These are shortcuts. That's all. Did you get it? And for profit, supernormal profit and loss, you will be looking at AR and AC curves. AR great. If you find AR is above AC, immediately see AR will always be downward sloping or horizontal line. AC is a U-shaped curve. Yesterday the exercise. Where is that U-shaped? Where is that downward sloping? Where is that point? At the level of equilibrium. Okay. Understand? Are you clear now? Okay. I think this question also you answered well. Now, selected portions I will do towards the end. Do you remember I told you that I'm going to teach you, I'm going to revise with you selected portions that I will do in the end, in a detailed way I want to do. Now we will start, we will go to laws of production. Please take it, my dear students. Laws of production, a small hint I will give and then you can go on. So, remember, three sub-laws are there, isn't it? So here you have to know law of variable proportions. Law of variable proportions. Returns to scale. Returns to scale. And the third one is laws of returns. Ma'am, what is the tip or the exam cue you are giving? Yes, I have ready tips for you. Now, my dear students, here for the first law, one factor will be variable and all others or any number can be fixed factor. Please understand, when they give you an example with one variable factor and any number of fixed factor, it is law of variable proportion. When all factors are variable, see V and F stands for variable factor and fixed factor. You remember yesterday when we did variable cost and fixed cost? Didn't I tell you the example, what is variable cost and what is fixed cost? So we are again using that in laws of production. When all the factors are variable, it is returns to scale. And under laws of returns, one factor will be fixed and any number can be variable. So please understand this difference. Okay, and this law alone is applicable in the long run because only in the long run all factors can become variable. Whereas under law of proportion, it is still short run because there is a distinction between fixed and variable factors. Wherever there is a distinction between fixed and variable factors, it will be a case of short run. They'll ask you, which one of the following law is applicable in the long run? Which one of the following law is applicable in the short run? Remember, when there is no distinction between fixed and variable factor, it is applicable in the long run. Oh. Are you clear now? Yes. Now go to this part, example questions. I think I will just make a little big for you the font size so that you can look at the question and you can answer it. See, those who are online, those who are there, see whether you can answer these questions. This is from production, laws of production. First question. Identify from the given law which studies the changes in the output resulting from changing one factor, keeping others constant. Based on the hint given to you, identify whether it is law of variable proportions, that is VP stands for variable proportions, whether it is laws of returns to scale, or whether laws of returns or law of supply.
Laws of
Laws of returns, sure. One factor is
fixed.
it studies the changes in output, keeping one factor, changing one factor, keeping others constant. Changing one factor, keeping others constant. Look at the hints.
Loss of
In laws of returns, what is the hint you're taking?
one fixed and all other all
Variable. Is that the question? Look at it. Are we saying one is fixed and others are variable?
one is variable and
Ah.
others are
Okay, what is it?
loss of
Fantastic. Do you see how you have to get? This is one standard question. So when you have this exam, see, these are the hints I would like to give in the revision session, my dear students. In the class, what we did was learning the rationale elaborately. Now tips. I know the rationale. You would have studied. Now by looking at the small little thing, you can answer. See, you looked at this only and answered. No, okay. Now go to the another question. Identify the incorrect statement from the given. Now, pertaining to one exclusive law, how they can ask a question, which means for this type of question, you should have studied the law. So, it is an example of intricate question from the law itself. The other thing was identifying the law. I'll give you one more question on identifying the law. This is intricate question from the law itself. So under law of BP itself, they'll ask you a question. Under returns to scale itself, a question. All right. Now, this is from law of variable proportion, and see which, for you, which is the incorrect statement. 4 statements are given, okay? Statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, statement 4. Maybe this, I will put it as a separate one also for you. Yeah. So now you are going to identify from the law itself. It is an intricate question. So which is the incorrect statement here? Which means no, to answer this type of question, you should have studied the law in detail. Otherwise, how can you address it? Yes. Now the incorrect statement is the last one. Immediately I am able to know what is the, because under law of variable proportion, yes, state of technology is kept constant. So they have taken from the assumptions segment. Only one factor is variable, all others are constant. That is also correct. This law is not applicable to those cases where factors must yield rigidly fixed proportions to yield a product. Yes, it is not applicable. It is applicable where one factor is the variable, any number is fixed. Now, all the units of variable factor must be homogeneous. Here they are saying need not be homogeneous. Can you understand? So, this is an example of a question from within the law. The first one is an example of the question identifying the law. And for that, this tip is useful. Identify the law from the given statement. Whether it is law of variable proportion, returns to scale, laws of returns, or they will ask adds the law of demand or law of supply, etc. Okay. Now I will give you one more question, and you say whether it is which identify the law. Okay. Now identify the law. Let me see whether you have understood the hint. Exam hint has gone into your head clearly.
Vision of skill.
Very good, yeah. Not bad. So the hints are helping you. Do you see? These are shortcut methods. Very good. Excellent. So immediately you took the revision tip. That's what I can say. See, this is one standard question. So be prepared for these standard questions. But for intricate questions, which I told you, unless you really know the law, you cannot. We have done no class. Each a type of law with a schedule, a table followed by the graph, isn't it? So this question, as I'm telling you every day, direct questions where you can address with the exam tips, finish it off. Give time for intricate questions. You need time to recollect the chapter itself. Okay, very good, Karan. That was a good thing by you. Okay, now this is an example of intricate question, which means I have to study this in detail. In-depth question.
Ma'am,
Yeah, yes.
once again, say the first question.
Which means first question is what you're asking this one. Is it this? This one or this? Identify from the given law which studies the changes in output or this one, second one. First one. Now, my dear student, please understand the first one is an example of identifying from the statement which law it is. We know that there are 3 laws in production and fourth they themselves will add one law. Law of demand, law of supply, something. But the pertinent options will be the first 3, which will be law of variable proportion, laws of returns to scale or laws of returns. Okay. Now, for that, this Q is very important. See, the combination of factors is a guidance on identifying from the statement. See, when I wrote all the inputs are increased, see, which means all the factors are variable. That's why Karan immediately answered it is returns to scale. Now, when it is a case of variable proportion, remember, one factor, the experiment is done keeping one factor variable and any number of factors fixed. That is why in the class, when we did, you would have seen 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus. For what? For fixed factor. Any number you can have. So, one factor, I think we took in our class labor as a variable factor. One factor is variable. When one factor is made variable and all others are fixed, it is law of variable proportion. When all the factors are made variable, that is what we showed. All the inputs. Scale means all the inputs put together. See, increased or decreased, whatever it is returns to scale. But on the other hand, one factor is kept fixed or constant and any number of variable factor, it is laws of returns. Standard question, Nitish, I think you would have asked this question. So please remember, that is a direct question, repeated question. Like we said, no, identify the market. Like that, identify the law. Okay. But the second, have you understood the first one? Is your doubt clear?
Yes.
Very good. Now the second one type only I am saying that they will ask from within the law, which means you should have a revision of that. This is where I answered this. You remember, all units of variable factors need to be homogeneous, not need not. Are you clear in this part?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, this is what we saw. Now, again, look at this question. You're going to answer it. It's a mix of both direct and yes. More questions on laws of production. The chapter, more questions. Try these. The doubling of all the inputs leads to the output more than doubled. Then it is identify the law and the sublaw. Remember, each of the law has its own sublaw. Yes or no? Under law of variable proportion, we have increasing return stage, diminishing return stage, negative return stage. Under returns to scale, we have increasing returns to scale, diminishing returns to scale, constant returns to scale. And under just laws of returns also you have law of increasing returns, law of diminishing returns, law of constant returns. So each law has 3 sublaws. And in law of variable proportion, we don't call them as sublaws, stages. Increasing stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, example is given. You are going to do that also. Now identify the law and the sublaw. This is called the sublaw. This is the main law. See, stage 1 is there. Okay. Again, tips. Just study it like this. Law, sublaw, law, sublaw, law, sublaw. This is a hint. All these are the shorthand or the shortcut methods. Once we study of the chapter, shortcut methods are there. You can just tabulate it and do it. Okay. In the class, you would have seen me using the short form IRS, CRS, DRS. That is what it is. Increasing returns to scale. Have a tabulation and then finish it off, revising. See, there is a clue in each of this. I do not know whether you're noticing. If it is variable proportion, you will have the term stages. If you scale, and here they will 3 sublaws. It will start with law of increasing returns. Here you will not have scale, but you will have the term law because 3 sublaws, separate laws. They were not stages, nor you will have scale. So are you getting some tips here, no? Shortcut methods. Supposing you have no time for the examination, give the tips I give. And another very important tip I can add is, there itself you will finish off. This is, they will say identify the modern law. Law VP is a modern law. And identify the classical law. Laws of returns is a classical law. See, this is one hint. This table chart like that you should have. So easily you can find out. This is one question they're asking, whether this law is the modern law, this law is a classical law. That is one repeated question. Okay. Now answer this. Let me see. They are intricate questions. So unless and until you have studied the topic, subject fully, but you can give a try if you.
So I think so.
Hmm.
It is
Law, first one is
written to scale.
return to scale, main law. Sub law,
No, I think so.
under that, look at sub law means under this three, what this main you have identified. This is sub. Whether it will come under increasing returns to scale IRS or DRS or CRS. Read the thing, you're almost sure you have got the answer. Perfect. It is main law is returns to scale. Perfect answer.
Is more than the
Yes, yeah, more than double. Fantastic. IRS. That's all. Got it now? Okay, go to the next one. Diminishing returns is associated with, I will write it as law. Law of diminishing returns is associated with the primary sector, secondary sector. Option A is primary, option B is secondary. I'll make it crystal clear for you. Option A is secondary. Sorry, option A is primary, option B is secondary, option C is secondary, tertiary, and option D is all the three sectors. Where is it applicable?
tertiary.
Tertiary, okay. Here again, it is coming under laws of returns. So it will be here. Okay. So diminishing returns is always with primary. It was given by Alfred Marshall. Again, exam clue. Marshall gave it. That's why in the very definition statement of the law I would have given it. Increasing returns in the manufacturing sector, organization, agriculture related is diminishing returns. If you look at your running notes of the class, you will find what are the general reasons for diminishing returns. What are the reasons from the agriculture sector you would have given. So law of diminishing returns is applicable to the agriculture sector. Law of increasing returns to the manufacturing sector or any organization sector. And law of constant returns is to extractive industries. Again, shortcut answers I'm giving you. It was given by Alfred Marshall. You know what is extractive industries? That is the raw material for that good is based upon agriculture. Say for example, sugar cane. They process it and they convert it into sugar. So an extractive industry is one where both agriculture and industry are related. I take the raw material from the agriculture sector, maybe jute, maybe cotton, maybe sugar cane, whatever it is. From there, sugar industry, textile industry, cotton fibers or cotton textiles, whatever it is. So that is for constant returns. Extractive industry is where raw materials is from agriculture sector and processing of the good is done in the industrial sector. Are you clear? Do you understand? This is the hint for these chapters when you have no time. Rather than skipping, do these revisions. Do you understand? Okay. Go to the next one. So it is answer is primary. Okay. The scale line passing through the origin is called as dash. Do you remember that we have done a graphical representation under returns to scale? Your scale line will be like this. I'll give you a break at this is what the question is. We'll have all these curves. Okay, so you remember this type of diagram? The question is, what is this line called as OP? You have this line, no? This one. This is a diagram I've drawn for you also. Now this is, you have factor x here, factor x, factor y, two factors. Number of units produced 100, 200, 300. Point A, B, C. So you can call it as, so ISO 1, ISO 2, because they are all isocons, or IQ1, IQ2, anything. It will be denoted like this. Now the question is, what is this line passing through the origin called as? Expected question in the exam. Because it is based on tools. If you look at the graph very clearly, two tools are there. One is your IQ. IQ is nothing but isocont curve. IQ stands for isocont curve. Now the question is, what is OP? Two tools are there. This OP line is called as, do you remember, Karan? Or anybody online, do you remember what is it called as? It is called as expansion path. This is an example of an intricate question. I told you, no, there are intricate questions. So expansion path. Example of an intricate question. Okay. Now the last question in the slide, we will do that and we have to go in for a break. Laws of returns is applicable in the short run only. True or false? Why? Did you look at the hints? Sure. So it is true. The answer here is true or false?
True.
True. Perfect. Hint C. Look at the hint and finish off the chapter. Okay. So that is where we are learning this very important tips. Okay. Now it's close to 1 hour. I give you a break now. And yeah, it is 7:30. By 7:40 you can be, okay. Take a bit of a relaxation. So we begin our class now. After the small breakfast, coffee break. Yes. Now, do this. This is a, what to say, graph based or schedule based question, numericals. Now, as you did yesterday, cost, sums on revenue, sums on elasticity of demand and elasticity of supply. Here, fill up the question marks. Okay. And after that, you have a couple of questions to answer. So, fill in the question marks as a first question. Second one, what does a point F denote? Look at this. I've indicated F. What does it denote? I told you that definitely question on certain important points like point of saturation, point of equilibrium. Like that, this is F. What is that point? Now, is this law a modern law or a classical law? By looking at the stage, the word stage, easily you can find out. Already I've given you the tip, a small note or a brief hint kind of a thing I've given, which you can use. Now, the other expected question is, identify the stage of rationality from the given schedule. Answer the questions. And what are you asked to compute? Marginal product is one column, total product is one column, isn't it? First day you all did TUMU, and one day you did, yesterday you did a TC ACMC and a TRMR. Like that, this is TPMP. Total, see, all calculations are same only. Whether it is TUMU, ACMC, ARMR, today it is TPMP. So there is one question mark in the TP column, one question mark in the MP column. Will you be able to do? And remember, marginal product refers to a specific unit or application, whereas total is a summation of all the units to put together. Remember that. So when I say marginal cost of a third unit, it means only the cost of production of the third unit. When I say marginal cost of cost of all the three units, it means total cost. So marginal cost is specific, total cost is a summation. Have that clue in mind. And see how many intricate questions can be there. Now this and this, from the revision tip itself, you can easily answer. This one, if you would have studied the topic, you will know. This one, if you have studied the topic, you can. Because these are, I am in the revision, I have mixed direct questions, analytical questions, unexpected questions, repeated question. It's a combo. Okay, so now that I find you completely silent, I understand that it is difficult for you. Yes, let me help you now. I will cut this and put it in the next slide. Now, this part. Okay. Now, how do I compute a TP and MP? Now, look at this. So, when one unit of factor and one variable factor is combined, total production is 10, average production is 10, marginal product also is 10. When a second dose is applied, total product increases from 10 to 22, which means how many units have been added? 12. So that is the answer. And how is the average product calculated? TP by Q. And that Q will be variable factor. Just a small recollection is enough because we have done in the class extensively with the tables itself, right? So how is AP calculated? See here itself I have given you the clue. TP by variable factor. Yes, what it is?
14.
Very good. How did you calculate? Can you tell the class?
36 minus 22.
36 minus 20. Very simple. Because what are we asking? What is this question mark in the third unit implies what is the contribution made by the third unit of fixed factor and variable factor added, which means, see, total product of all the three put together is 36. Total product of all the 2 is 22, which means what is the addition made by the third factor? 36 minus 22. Very good, excellent, brilliant answer. Now go to your TP column. Now the question is on TP. See, two types. One is calculating MP from TP. Now you are going to calculate TP from MP. Okay. Now how do I do that? See, I understand that this is the 9th unit of application. along with the fixed factor, it gives me a marginal production of 0.
Same as 85.
Same thing as 82. Why do you say it is 82? Nothing is added.
Nothing is added.
If it is added, I will add. So 8 till 8 unit, it is 82. Ninth one is not added. Supposing 1 was there, what would be your answer?
83.
83. Very simple. So the answer is 82. Perfect. So now the calculation part is done. Now come to the questions. Give the names of 3 stages. In the tips also I have given. When it is given as stages, easily I have given you the answer. That is increasing return stage, diminishing returns or decreasing returns stage, negative return stage. That's all. Okay. So some books, so this is the first one is increasing. Second one is decreasing or diminishing. They are including both. Both terms are used. And this is negative because here MP is minus. And when it is like this, which is the law? Identifying the law is easy. Now identify the law. Increasing returns, diminishing or decreasing, diminishing returns, negative returns. And with stages, it is ending. Look at your law of
Variable.
You have identified. It is ending with stages. It also see only in law variable proportion we show the negative stage very clearly. 3 stages are law variable proportion. 3 sub-laws are laws of returns. 3 scales are returns to scale. Good. You have answered, see. And is this a modern law, classical law? Find out. Look at it. I have given the tips. It's been given. Modern law. What is a classical law?
The third one, return to scale. Return to laws, I guess.
Laws of
Laws
returns.
Laws of
So
returns.
this is modern law.
This one.
This is law of variable proportion. Classical law is laws of returns. Okay. What does F denote? It is point of inflection. Expected question, very important. My dear students, point of saturation is I do not want any more in DMU. Equilibrium point is where demand and supply curves intersect, meet. And point of inflection is where the total product stops increasing at an increasing rate and starts increasing at a diminishing rate. Please understand. That is what we are showing. See F point. Till here it is increasing at an increasing rate. And from 4 to 5 as they move, as you enter into the stage 2, total product still will increase but at a diminishing rate. Are you clear? So this is point of inflection. F stands for point of inflection. And what does it denote? Total product will still be increasing, but it will stop increasing at an increasing rate and start increasing at a diminishing rate. Now, of the 3 stages, which is the stage of economic rationality? As we're doing this topic also, I was telling you, it is a analytical question from this part. You have to study and tell me. Now, do you remember or any of you know of the 3 stages which can be called as a stage of economic rationality? I think by rationality, you know the meaning is smart. Which will the smart producer choose? A rational producer will choose. Which will be an excellent move? Which will be a strategic choice? I'm putting it in different ways. So which would be the stage of economic rationality? Stage 1, 2, 3 or all the 3? What is your answer?
2.
Stage 2? Yeah, correct. Guesswork you did. Huh? It is stage 2.
Yes.
Stage 1 and 3 are irrational stages. This we can understand. Nobody will choose negative. But increasing returns also, it is not rational because he won't stop there. A producer will continue his production. And look at in stage 2 only, your total product is maximum. In stage 2 only it is maximum. So stage 2 is a stage of economic rationality. Have all the questions been answered? Yes? Okay, it is stage 2. Now we'll go to the last question from the laws of production. A gentle reminder to you regarding these two. This is called as IQ curve. We saw, no? This one also you saw. This one is your OP, scale line or expansion path. That we already saw. I gave you a question on that, isn't it? Scale line or expansion path. Now, when you have a curve like this, please don't call it as an indifference curve. Indifference curve is between two commodities. Here you will have, say, biscuits and bananas, walnuts and almonds, whatever it is. Here, when you find factors of production, please remember it is called as a iso product curve or iso quant curve. It is used in producers equilibrium. Iso quant curve, iso product curve is your IQ curve. Are you clear? And when the factors are given, don't use the word indifference curve. Yesterday we saw indifference curve, and also yesterday or day before. Indifference curve also we saw, MRS, all those things. So be sure when IQ is used, it is not indifference curve. It is iso quant, which will be used in producers analysis. And another important hint. Look at this curve and they will ask you to identify whether it is constant returns to scale, increasing returns to scale or decreasing returns to scale. My dear students, in constant returns to scale, how should I understand the distance between the successive iso product curve will be uniform. The graph will show you that the distance between A, B and C will be equal. They are equidistant. When you look at that curve, immediately choose constant returns to scale. Now, when the distance between the curves are decreasing, remember it is increasing returns to scale. Note it, okay? Revision hint. When the distance between the successive iso quant curves are declining, it is not decreasing returns, it is increasing returns. Likewise, when the distance between the curves are increasing, it is not increasing returns to scale, it is decreasing returns to scale. As we did the class with an explanation I gave you. So these two I want you all to have in mind. Are you clear? So with this, we are completing our business economics segment. I will welcome you to the which segment? Macroeconomics. We will do macro. Exercise questions, very important questions are there. After macro, we will do selected portions. And finally, we will end with business environment quiz. Okay. Business environment handout is there with you all. Please, you can study from there. And selected portions today, did you bring your Bharadwaj material? So I will make you mark, highlight. As I'm going to highlight the selected portions, you also highlight. So that you will concentrate. See, look at all these graphs and tips we learned in the class. Very important clues. And once a tip was given, see, you were able to answer, isn't it? That is how you have to prepare for the examination. Okay. Money, QTM, central bank, commercial banks, money market and financial institutions. Yes. Now, let's start with money. Ma'am, what should I focus in that topic, money topic, which also includes QTM, if your question is that. For that, this is the answer. My dear students, please remember the quotes given on money by the experts. That is a technical segment. Please remember, it is a technical segment. Unless you study, you will not know who gave this quote. So it is a misnote. What I'm giving you is a misnote. Of course, here difficulties of butter is the basis. Repeated question on difficulties of butter. And it was because of the challenges of the barter system we came for money economy. right? So study that. I also have a question exercise on that for you. Okay, quotes on money is very important. Now, to identify the heading under which each specific function of money comes. Do you remember a chart we saw? Primary function of money, secondary function, contingency function, other functions. So when they give you medium of exchange, you must know it is primary function. Deferred payments, secondary function. So likewise, you must be able to study the functions chart. Clue, exam revision tip. Look at the chart, revise it. Easy. Characteristics of money. See. So they will give you the characteristic, they will give you the statement and they will say identify the characteristic. That's why it's very important. Okay. Monetary aggregates. What is this? M1, M2, M3. We saw that, isn't it? You remember that? Measures of money. Okay, all this. Now, Gresham's law. A small, only one law is there. Exercise is there for you. Value of money. Greater the quantity of money, greater would be the general price level, lower will be the value of money. Remember that. Okay. What are the main components of money supply? Okay, central bank money, commercial bank money, and quantity theory of money, three motives: transaction motive, precautionary motive, speculative motive. Okay. Now, with this small introduction on money and quantity of money, I would like to give a chart, an exercise for you. Please do this. This is on butter. See whether you can choose the correct option. You try first. I will also help you with the answer.
I think the answer is lack of coincidence or points.
Perfect. Wonderful. Okay. Now, please remember this. When the wants of the buyers and sellers are less likely to be fulfilled simultaneously. See, I want the notebook you're having. Okay. In return, I'm saying that I will give you this scanner. You say, I don't want scanner, but I want your notebook. So that is it. Very good. No? So you keep reading the statement, you can answer it perfectly. Is that clear? One more example I will give you. See whether you're able to do. What was the clue word from which you was able to identify this answer?
Simultaneous.
Okay. So in Karan, you seem to be a little well prepared for the exam. From what I observe, no, that the answering and other things, no, you have become little focused, I think, isn't it? To as the exam is fast approaching. Even from day one, also I noticed, you were able to. Please read the example. Read loudly.
X has a goat to offer in the exchange for spicy. He requires
Spices.
He requires the barter exchange rate. One goat is equal to 1 kg of spices. X required half kgs of spices. Identify the difficult in this barter's condition. It means that uh,
So you want to have a look at the challenges. See, all the challenges are there. Or even I can take.
difficulty in the exchange of service.
No. Services will be like, supposing you need a teacher for your kids to be tutored. That, in return, what you're going to offer. So that the example will not be goods, it will be services of teachers, doctors, lawyers, barbers, whatever it is. Dhobis, that is your laundryman, etc. Among the six, nothing comes to your mind. Nothing seems to be. See, earlier you were able to identify, no? Ma'am, this simultaneously only made me think of coincidence like that. The transaction rate is one goat is equal to 1 kg of spices, but X wants only half kg. There is something which is preventing from this transaction from happening. What is that? That is a difficulty. When you say difficulty in barter, what we are saying, this transaction is a stalemate, is halted because of this reason. What is that? Are we mentioning about double coincidence? We are not saying that no. X or Y doesn't want the goat or spices. No, that is not there. The answer is the second one, lack of divisibility. Divisibility, what we call as a problem of indivisibility. We do not know how this transaction can happen. See, I want half kg of spices. That man agrees for goat, but now I can offer only half a goat. Half goat is it? Can you slaughter the goat and give? Goat and spices to be exchanged. But how will this happen? So both the parties are standard. Should this man cut the goat and give? That does that man want a slaughtered goat? No. Problem of indivisibility. I see this as a repeated question in the examination. I remember those days they used to have cattle, goats, cows, etc. for barter exchange. So this problem was very, very high. Problem of indivisibility, isn't it? Can you understand now? So it is this. Yes, this is option. Okay. Now, please answer this question. The term money was derived from the name of the goddess of dash. Basis of credit comes under dash function of money. One can borrow money now and repay it in future. Identify the function of money from the given options. A. Transfer of money. B. Standard of deferred payments. C. Liquidity. D. Medium of exchange. Next question. Demand deposits are created by central bank. True or false? Good money drives bad money out of circulation. True or false? MV is equal to PT was given by Dash. Which economist? Is this equation correct? M is equal to PKT. According to Keynes, Dash plays a dominant role in the determination of value of money. M3 is equal to M2 plus term deposits over 1 year maturity plus one more component is. Will you be able to answer any question?
So,
Keep it like this so that Definitely, we will give you the answer. Is the font big enough? Is it visible? I will give alternate colors so that each question you are able to see distinctly. Unless you have studied, you can't touch this segment. So, and in macro, as far as macro is concerned, data, any data, year of inception of the scheme, establishment of a financial institution with its date, acronyms, that any outlay which is given, coming under data as usual, they are all important. Names of the economists who gave the quotes, typical functions. By the side, I will fix the answer for you so that you can look the answer and the question parallel. Market is very important question because we are doing the scanner parent source. Sorry. Now, the term money was derived from the name of the goddess of Rome. Okay, goddess of Rome. Basis of credit comes under contingent function of money, not primary or secondary. Remember, one can borrow now and repay in future. Standard of deferred payments. Deferred means delayed. Remember that. Okay. Then demand deposits are created by central bank. False. Because it's created by commercial banks. Okay. Then good money drives bad money out of circulation. It's true or false? No, I have a doubt in this. I'll check and tell you this. Okay. Okay. MB is equal to PT was given by Irving Fisher. Correct. Is this equation correct? M is equal to PKT? Yes, correct. This is called as Cambridge equation. Okay. Given this comes under your neoclassical theory. The quantity theory given by classical school, neoclassical school and Keynesian school. According to Keynes, dash plays an important role. What is that? Interest.
Interest.
Was it given in the answer? Interest plays a very important role in what? In determination of value of money. According to Keynes, Keynesian speculative motive. Okay. M3 is equal to M2 plus term deposits over 1 year maturity plus call and term borrowings of the bank. Are you clear? Now I'll ask you one fundamental question from QTM. Okay. Three motives for holding money in cash form. This is what you have to fill it up. Try to fill it up. Motives for holding money in the cash form as against any alternative interest bearing asset. Fundamental question. So as an exam hint, you can also have this in mind. Fundamental question in QTM. Remember, QTM stands for quantity theory of money. The answer is precautionary motive. Okay. So this is given by classical school. This was added by neoclassical school, 4 experts. And this is by Keynesian school. That's why he said rate of interest. Okay. Yeah, now this regarding this answer on this is, where is it? The answer is false. You know why? In the class also I was explaining this to you with a simple common man example. Okay. Let us assume that you are commuting by auto. Okay, you take an auto. You have a fresh crispy notes with you. You have a dirty note, soiled note. Which would you offer to your auto wala? Fresh, clean. You not even folded. Fresh, say 100 rupee note. You have a squeezed note. I mean, it is, you can use it for exchange, but it's dirty as compared to the fresh bundle you got. So, squeezed note, which means what? Everybody will give squeezed note or soiled note, which means what? Bad money will drive good money out of circulation. But what we have written here, good money is driving bad money out of, which means, what is the meaning? Everybody is using good money in the market. No, nobody will use good money in the market. And this is your Gresham's law. Now, whatever I gave you here as an tip for this chapter, you have to study. That is what I've asked as questions. See, difficulties of barter, quotes on money as given by experts, identifying the chart, identifying the main function from the from the statement given, characteristics of money, monetary aggregates. That's what you filled in now. And Gresham's law, 3 motives. Their preparation on money and QTM will be based on this way, structured in this way, because questions are collected from here. So look at these questions. You noted the answer for all?
Yes, sir.
See, and this is the Fisher's equation. MV is equal to PT. We write it as MV is equal to PT. In our book, I have already given you that. So standard thing is this. Are you clear? Okay, all these answers are given to you. Are you clear with QTM?
So,
now go to the banking system. It's not working after some time. I don't understand. See whether you can answer this. Okay. After this, I will give you a proper break so that you can come back and I just want to make it in caps and it will be decent. So a set of questions in this page, and is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, read loudly now once all these questions.
That define bank as an institution whose debts are widely accepted in settlement of other people's debt.
Mm.
As this type of deposit is most convenient to businessmen and joint stock companies.
Options are given.
Options are given: current, savings, fixed, recurring.
Mm.
Recurring deposit is also known as term deposit.
Mm.
True or false? The rate of interest on fixed deposit varies between 2, 4, 4.8. That's referred to an arrangement by which bank allows its customers to borrow money up to a specific limit from an account open for the purpose. Collection of check comes under agency functions. True or false? Issue of trackables, checks comes under general utility functions. Commercial banks never go for any unnecessary expenditure that come under the principles of
Dash.
that.
Try this. I'll give you just 1 minute or whatever you're able to fill it up, because answer key is ready for it for you. Okay.
Second one, I think so, I'm saving.
Yes, Karan, were you able to answer one question?
I think so. Second one, I'm saving.
Second one.
Yes.
This type of deposit is most convenient to businessmen and joint stock companies. You feel it is savings.
Same.
Okay.
And recurring deposit is also known as term deposit. False.
You see, you're getting one question right.
Rate of interest on fixed deposit.
Rate of interest on fixed deposits.
6 to 12.
6 to 12. Somehow you made it to the founder 3, or at least guesswork you're doing.
The collection of check comes under agency function.
Do you see what are the segments here? True.
Collection of agency function. The issue of travels check comes. And the issue of travels was false.
Let's see how many things are correct for you, how many. Okay, now I am going to show you the answer key, and I will tell you how. You see, look at the topic, it is commercial bank. We have exclusively a quiz on commercial bank. I put it in the same page so that as you read with the answer, it will be helpful. Answer key for your perusal.
How it is current account?
Why businessmen will use savings here? Current deposit, account deposit. What is the advantage? No restrictions on the number of withdrawals. They are not worried about interest rate. I need to withdraw anytime. No restrictions really. They are not worried about rate of interest. You know that. That is common man. You and me are concerned about savings deposit because I want rate of interest. The purpose of current account itself is for businessmen and joint stock companies. You know that. That's why I was surprised when you gave this answer. Bit. Because why they need that, no? We are all common man. We have to apportion our income properly. They're dealing in multiple crores. The problem is they keep depositing, they keep withdrawing, they keep depositing. So literally no restrictions on withdrawals. And as I was telling you that when I was teaching this chapter, I was telling you that very clearly. Please note, businessmen are not for their deposits is not to earn some meager rate of interest. We are all for nominal rate of interest. For them, it is a business purpose. Okay, so Dash defines bank as an institution whose debts are widely accepted in settlement of other people's debt. Economist says. Okay. Next one. This type of deposit is most convenient to businessmen and joint stock company. Current account deposit. A recurring deposit, I think you answered that correctly because fixed deposit is known as term deposit. Time deposit, term deposit, etc. The rate of interest on fixed deposit, recurring deposit is also known as cumulative. Okay, we saw that. Yes, rate of interest on fixed deposit varies between
6 to 12.
Because you are keeping it for a long period of time. So bank gives you attracts you with a higher rate of interest. Okay. Now, Dash refers to an arrangement by which bank allows the customers to borrow up to a specified limit from an account opened for the purpose. It is known as cash credits. Okay. Then collection of checks comes under agency function. Correct. I think you told the answer correctly. Issues of traveler's check comes under general utility function. False. Commercial banks never go for any unnecessary expenditure. It comes, you studied 14 principles of commercial banks. It comes under principle of economy. Are you clear? Now, with this as a base, I will tell you how you are going to prepare this segment for examination. With this, I will give you a breakfast break, but I want to tell you now in this chapter, we will make it like this. From this, you are getting some cue. Okay. First of all, quotes. I'll make it big, don't worry. The first question indicates that you have to revise the quotes. Second one is types of deposits. Current, savings, fixed, recurring. Then types of loans and advances. Short-term loans, isn't it? All those types. Then you have to study about agency functions and general utility functions because they will mix, alternate and give you. So true or false, you must be able to say. Correct and incorrect, yes or no, true or false. Okay. Agency functions and general utility functions. Okay. Then 14 principles of commercial. Do you see the questions taken from all these segments? Did you notice that? Okay. And creation of credit. Don't forget that from one primary deposit, how they create derived deposits or creation of credit function of commercial bank. This is what I have to study. The division segments in commercial bank lesson. Clear? Yes or no? Now, why this type of question means from each category, I chose a question. Model question. These are template questions. So, what you should do, you have to segment it and study. Otherwise, what now you may leave some, and don't worry, this is very small. Previous slide has it big with the answer. Okay, and this is where you have to, and remember all these answer keys are checked in the scanners, parents. So sometimes, and the differences are there. What is most accurate is given here. See here also some books gave you this, but I told you this is what you have to study. MV is equal to PT. I'm not worried about it because in Bharadwaj material we gave. Not only this, M dash V dash plus MV is equal to PT, adding banking money also, credit money also. So what was the topic we discussed now? The whole thing is on commercial banks with the answer. Are you clear? So when we come back after break, we will do central bank.
Central bank and then money.
Money market and financial institutions. We'll complete. Then we can quiz, finally business environment quiz. The end of the day, you should be thorough in all those questions. Today, business environment. Prior to that, selective portions I'll make you highlight so that there is some revision of it. Okay, so we will go for a breakfast break now. Yes, is Karan and people in online, you have to tell me when you want to be back. So would you mean 9, 10 or something?